Hello there, everybody. This is Backlit Avenger from the SC2 Mapster forums, demonstrating how to use my FPS engine data mod and trigger library. Okay, this is just going to be how you initialize the library. What you do, you get a file, new. Obviously, we want a map. Now, the first thing we have to do is download the data mod and the trigger library, both version 2.0. That's the most recent version. So, modify these document dependencies. Add other. Okay. See right here at the bottom, FPS engine data mod. You would navigate to wherever you saved the FPS data mod file and select it. Okay, now we need to use this triangle button here, move up, to move it to the top. So it's the primary dependency for this document. And we click OK. Alright, now we will, we can go with Marsara. Just the base height 4. Size looks about right. Create. The OK button. And wait for it to initialize. Okie dokie, here's our map. Now, there is one thing you have to do to get this trigger library to work. Go to Cameras. Click Create Camera. As you can see, we now have this camera up here. Double click it. Okay, check the Preview in Terrain Editor box here. And we're going to edit these values. Bear with me here, these values may seem a little strange, but I think that when you test the trigger library, you will see that they work rather well. So, we're going to set the name to FPS camera. And we're going to set the field of view to 27 even. We're going to set the distance to 1. The pitch to 0. And the Z offset to 0.65. And as you can see, we now have a little camera down here that is in the proper location for a first-person shooter. Now, we go to Triggers, Data, go to Library, Import Library. Select FPS Engine, version 2.0. Okay. We need to delete this melee initialization trigger here in the map trigger field. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can either leave the library here and edit this variable, or you can select everything here, copy it, and it's got to be everything, and paste it right here into the map triggers list. If you do as I have done here, and you copy these folders and trigger from the FPS engine library to your map trigger listing, then you need to go back up here to the FPS engine library and delete it. And the reason for this is because the FPS engine library will run and the triggers that you've just copied will run, so you'll end up with 2 instances of every trigger, and we don't want that. So, click OK. Okay, final thing that you gotta do, and I mean, really, this is not that much work. go to the, can minimize all these folders. Go to the camera. Oh, and also, when you import the library, should have mentioned this earlier, if you don't see it, this button, Show Libraries, you click on it, and it allows you to see what trigger libraries you have active. So, anyway, we can click it to eliminate the library view now that we've got the triggers imported. So, camera. As you can see, we have the initial default value set to no camera object. We're going to change this. Click no camera object. Navigate from the preset tab to the value tab. And right there, first listing, we have our FPS camera. Okay. It is selected, so all we have to do is hit OK. And we have set the initial value for this variable camera to be our recently made FPS camera. Okie dokie. That's it. You've got the trigger library initialized. You've got the data mod working, so the triggers know where specifically to look for some of the custom data things, like the weapon effects or the item type units that provide you with more ammunition. So, just to finish off this video to prove that I'm not dicking you guys around, and that really this is all you had to do, we're going to test the document. And as you can see, we've got an extremely boring map here, but you can move around, you can look around, you can shoot things, and as you notice, the number of rounds you have left will decrease every time you shoot until you have 0. And then you have to reload. And you do this by pressing the R button. And that subtracts 1 from the number of clips you have. Now, you start with 2 clips per weapon. If you want more of them than that, you either have to set the appropriate variable to whatever integer you would like, or you can place the item objects that increase the number of clips you have, thus adding to your ammunition. So, we've reloaded, we can continue shooting, etc. Rocket launcher, yeah, and reload. Okie dokie. Flamethrower. And finally, autocannon with the very silly looking bullets. Anyway, as you can see, the map does in fact function. And yeah. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to shortly release a video that shows you how the triggers work, and specifically how you add weapons. Yes, that will be coming shortly. So, you now know how to initialize the trigger library, and you know how to use the data mod as your primary dependency. That's it. That's all you have to do. So, this is Back to the Adventure from sc2mapster.com, signing off.